Hey Sam, I love when I come across these videos where the transitioned regret being transitioned into transgenders. So let's take a listen.
I am Helena. I'm 23 years old. When I was about 15, I started using Tumblr. I had an eating disorder since I was pretty young. There's a lot of messages that said, if you feel bad about your body, that means you're trans. I was just going through this period of like, I don't like how I'm treated as a cis person. I don't want to be cis because cis means you're uncool and you're privileged and you're an oppressor and you're bad, and I don't want to be that.
Okay, now cis is what they call the regular females, the ones that are born genetically correct in the image of which they should be female naturally. That's what they call the cis. I don't like that word. Cis sounds like pus and sores to me, because that's what the devils think of the natural creation, natural woman. They think of us as disgusting, yet they want to be us, but they call us cis. So I'm never going to learn these pronouns correctly. So know that.
In that way, I was really incentivized to try to figure out a way to make my voice heard in these communities. And obviously I can't change my race. I can't really change my sexuality. So the only thing left was to start playing around with the gender stuff. So I decided to...
By that throat just now, it looks as though this one is a young man, because that one looked like it had two Adam's apples in the throat. So let's continue.
I call myself a demi-girl, which is one of the 40 million genders. And that basically means that...
Did this one say 40 million genders? You see what I'm saying? Why the children are so confused now? Because they have more than one gender now. You go to any platform, they don't ask you anymore, are you male or female? That's there as well, along with 25 million other genders that they have made up for our children. And let us not forget that we do have the transgender doll out now by Barbie.
I'm mostly a girl, but I'm a little bit not a girl, which is just like, what does that even mean? And then after that, I went to demi-boy. And then after that, I went to gender fluid.
What?
And after that, I eventually went to trans boy. But all this...
You hear all of this shit, and you wonder why the children are confused. Fluids and all type of stuff. What is going on? What the hell is going on?
Took like 2 or 3 years of just going through this repetitive cycle of changing this identity and changing it again, and it was just never enough.
And sadly, this is what our children are going to be going through, trying to figure out if they gender fluid, trans fluid, gender binary fluid. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a little boy or a little girl, they're going to have to go through all of these different types of genders to find out what they are, because they're trapped inside. This is
There was a lot of hopelessness for a long time, a lot of regret. The feeling of regret was intense.
It's a moving interview, and there's a lot more of it in the episode. Helena joins us on set now. Helena, thanks so much for coming out. There's something so sad about that. First of all, thank you for speaking up, because your voice does matter, I think, in this conversation. But you felt what every young woman I've ever met felt at a certain age, which is uncomfortable with yourself. And it feels like you were exploited at that moment of weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, it's completely normal for not only young girls, but often young boys too, to feel uncomfortable with themselves, uncomfortable.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but this one here appears to be a woodenhead, a young man in a wig right here. And they're calling this one a woman that did all of this. I'm confused, because this looks like a little dude to me. And Tucker, by that hand right there, is a female. But how are they telling us the story? Let's continue.
With their body. But we have this ideology that is especially prevalent online that says that if you have those feelings, that means you're trans. I mean, there are literally people who say, if you don't even like your voice on a recording, that's a sign of gender dysphoria, and you need to go see a medical professional because you're trans.
Talk about taking advantage of people. So how did...
And he acting all surprised. He, she, it. They're all abominations. But acting so surprised and appalled and everything. But this is the way of life now. And you heard what this one said at the beginning. You know, to be a normal female is to be oppressed. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they look at us. We oppressed now, being the wonderful creation that God made us, women, wonderful, beautiful, amazing. Natural man, wonderful, beautiful, handsome, amazing. Nothing wrong with the natural creation. But listen to these ones here. The natural creation is oppressed.
And this is all explained in greater depth in the documentary, but how do you feel now at 23 looking back on what happened?
I feel honestly grateful for the experience because it's taught me a lot about the world and about myself, but I really feel afraid for these other young girls like myself who they might not be. You know, I consider myself lucky that I was able to get out of it unscarred really medically.
This is a dude right here, okay? You know how they do us, but this right here is a little boy right here, a young man with a wig on playing a woman like they all do, okay? So I know you looking like, what? But I was confused too just a few seconds ago as well. But this right here is another wooden head dude in a wig right here playing a woman like they all do. Abominations. But you know, let's go along with the storyline here. This is confusing shit to our children. This is what they got to look forward to growing up.
But there's so many young people who can't say the same, and psychologically as well. I mean, it's just devastating to, especially from a young age, be lied to by adults at school and by medical professionals and told that your body is...
Right, being lied to by adults at the schools, at the medical professions, any facility you go in, they will go ahead and ensure you that you are indeed trapped and you need to come on out in abomination so you can truly be free and brave. Yes, every institution here on our earth ran by government will enforce that and lock up the parents that disagree with that. They will enforce abomination. Yes, they will.
You need to change it. You need to get hormones. You need to get surgeries.
See?
That's devastating for
Hormones.
a young person. So I'm just really concerned for younger girls and boys like I once was,
Yes.
being led down this path and being hurt by it.
It's a failure of male leadership, of adult leadership, and it does seem like some of the steps are medically irreversible.
Absolutely. I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, the White House actually just put out a chart yesterday that says that some of these steps are reversible or partially reversible, but that's such an oversimplification of the truth. I mean, when you go on...
Right, because if you cut your penis off, you can't reverse that, okay? And if you tear up your vagina and make a fake penis, you can't reverse that. You just can't do that, okay? You will never be the same. When you start mutilating yourself, you can't reverse that. When you cut off body parts, I call that full possession then. But when you start cutting off body parts to change your body into something that you will never be, you can't reverse that. When you start taking those pills and everything, you're sterilizing yourself. You can't reverse that. All to become an abomination. And the world will encourage you to do just that.
A cross-sex hormone, like that's going to give you not just physical changes, but psychological experiences that you can't just act like they never happened. You can't just take it back.
Yes.
And especially with surgery.
And the psychological experiences driving you mad because they're psychotic. All of them are psychotic abominations, and they're trying to drive you psychotic. So once you get into mutilating yourself, you know, and then medicate it, you should be well on your way to being psychotic. Like they want for humans. The destruction of humans want us nutcases and disformed. That's what they want for us, and our children especially. Listen to this shit.
You know, a breast implant after a mastectomy is not the same thing as never having your breast taken off in the first place.
Right.
So there's a lot of young women who are going through that, who had a double mastectomy at 16, 17, 18 years old, or
Horrifying.
even younger, that happens, who, you know, there's nothing you can really do to put that feeling of oneness and safety in your body back.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh, shut
I hope
up.
people
Shut up,
are
Tucker.
hearing you with open...
Shut up, Tucker. He don't give a fuck. She don't give a fuck. Whatever it is, okay? But this one is saying some real shit, you know. You have to take your mind through these changes right here. You're on hormones, estrogen, testosterone, and not to mention whatever hormones they have to get to dull your brain down so that you can go ahead and go forth with the procedures. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you need to think about it. Oh, they just saying go do it, and you know they put little drags on there and tell them, oh, they want the fairy that comes and cut the penis off and everything. But you know, logically thinking, these surgeries are hours long. Your body is exposed. You could die during the process. They don't tell you that, but they hope that, you know, because all they want is for the destruction of humans. That's what you need to know. They want us dead. And if they can mutilate us and mess up our brains on the way out, well, kudos, win-win.
Minds with tolerance, are they?
There's a lot of people out there, especially parents, who are really thankful for what I'm saying because they see that their young girl or their young boy is going through this, and the school is telling them, you need to affirm them, they're trans, you need to transition them, all their
Exactly. All the schools, the churches now, any facility is going to encourage your child to become an abomination. It's law. The Pope went up and stood up in front of the Pope is a demon. The Pope stood up in front of everyone and declared that they wanted to get legislation. The Pope is a whole female, but wanted to get legislation so that we can learn to call the abominations correctly by their names. Their correct name is sodomite, and that's the only pronouns I'm learning correctly. A sodomite. Yes, that's what you are. Abominations, that's the other one we should all know and learn. Abomination and sodomites. We need to learn nothing else. Male, female, and sodomites and abomination. That's it.
Doctors are telling them you need to transition them, and these parents, they know that their child should not be having these cosmetic procedures.
Right, and that's what I said. These wicked fucks have trained you to brainwash your children, you know. Because you're supposed to be responsible for your children. You're not supposed to be dumb as fuck, okay? You're supposed to know what the fuck is going on, and you're supposed to be able to tell your little boy that he's a little boy, and your little girl that she's a little girl, with no fucking hesitation. Not look at the child and tell him, what gender are you? What do you want to be today? The fuck? They have taught you to brainwash your own children, because they brainwashed you.
So there's a lot of parents who are really thankful. There are other young people who are really thankful that I'm saying what I'm saying, but obviously, you know, you have the trans activists and the trans community that exhibits some very unhealthy kind of cult-like dynamics who are really upset about this.
Man, you are so articulate and thoughtful at 23. It's it's remarkable.
Of course, it's
people who have suffered like you have sometimes get deeper.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's 23, of course, for the devil's members and shit. But it's an abomination. It's a boy in a wig. So let's not forget that. And Tucker is not a male. That's a trans female as well. They're getting our children set up to become abominations. That's what's running the world. And as we can see every single day, it's becoming more prevalent every day, every single day. Take notes. This is what they want for our children, abomination. And these kids are not happy being transitioned. Some of them aren't. We need to take note of that too. But I don't trust the story, and I don't trust them. Fuck a devil. Y'all be safe out here. I love you.